Welcome back to the deep dive. Today, we are strapping in for what might just be one of the most intense and transformative dives we've ever
I
done.
think you're right about that.
We're drilling down into a work that has influenced millions, Tony Robbins' Awaken the Giant Within.
Hmm.
But we're not just looking at the philosophy. We are specifically pulling out the core actionable frameworks from a review of the audiobook version.
Yeah, and that's the key distinction, right? The audiobook. Because the sheer energy of the delivery just amplifies everything.
It really does.
Our mission here is really to distill the mechanics of massive personal change. This isn't, theoretical stuff. It's a guide. It's designed to help you, the listener, stop reacting to life
And start creating it.
and start actively creating the life you want. The whole idea is that you already have this giant potential inside you. This is the instruction manual to wake it up.
And that audiobook format is so important because the intensity makes it feel personal. It feels immediate and, frankly, unavoidable. It promises these frameworks you can use right now.
Exactly. It's the energy that demands commitment. And as the material makes very clear, commitment is the only place this entire journey can possibly begin.
Okay, so let's unpack that. If we're talking about massive, systemic personal change, where do you even start? It's not with a new habit, is it? Or
Yeah.
some feeling of motivation?
No, not at all. It starts with a choice. It all boils down to this one equation he presents. Decision equals destiny.
Decision, destiny.
Yeah. Robbins argues that your life changes the very moment you make a real decision. And most of us, we confuse wishing or hoping with actually deciding.
Right. A real decision is different.
It's totally different. It's backed by absolute commitment. It means you cut off any other possibility, you burn the ships, you decide with everything you have that you will do whatever it takes.
That sounds almost too simple, though. A lot of people make a committed decision on January 1st to hit the gym, and by February 1st, they're right back on the couch. So how does the source material deal with that inevitable backslide?
Well, that's the beauty of looking at it as a cascade. A genuine decision isn't just a single moment. It's the commitment to a whole chain reaction.
Like dominoes.
Exactly like dominoes. If you truly decide, let's say, to become financially free, that one decision shapes all your little daily habits, where you spend your time, what you read, where your money goes.
Okay.
And those habits, they shape your consistent behavior. And that behavior, over time, shapes your entire life's path. The material is very clear. Trace back any outcome, good or bad, and it started with a decision, maybe an unconscious one.
So that quote, "It is in your moments of decision that your destiny is shaped," that's not hyperbole.
Not at all. It's just cause and effect.
Wow. That's incredibly clarifying because it forces you to accept responsibility for the decisions you've already made, the ones that created your reality right now.
Consciously or not. Yeah.
So if a decision is the choice to fly higher, then the altitude we choose to stay at has to be governed by something internal. Is that where standards come in?
That's precisely it. If the decision is the ignition, then standards are the altitude you choose to fly at. The core concept is simple. Your life will only ever match the standard of behavior you accept for yourself.
So if you accept being 5 minutes late as okay,
You'll always be 5 minutes late. If you want your life to rise, you have to fundamentally raise your standards. Your internal expectations have to go up.
and the review breaks this down into really tangible areas, right? It's not just a vague be better.
That's right. It pushes you to look at 5 key areas where low standards cause the most, chronic pain. Your health, your finances, your relationships, your career, and critically, your emotions.
Let's take health as an example.
Okay. So if your current standard for healthy means skipping the gym once a week is fine, raising that standard means you commit to 5 focus sessions, no matter what. Suddenly, 4 sessions becomes the bare minimum, not the goal.
That one small shift forces a whole cascade of other decisions.
It rewires your whole schedule
Yeah.
and your self-identity.
But the material talks about raising standards dramatically, which can feel really overwhelming. For someone listening who's already feeling burnt out, how do you raise standards without just setting yourself up for failure?
That is a really important question. And the difference is in the commitment behind the decision, not the size of the goal itself. It's not about saying, I'm going to lose 50 pounds.
Okay.
It's about raising a standard. It's saying, I am now the kind of person who exercises 6 days a week, regardless of how I feel. Goals can be put off, but a standard, once you really commit, becomes part of your identity.
So violating it causes internal pain.
Exactly. We'll get to that.
Yeah.
But the trick is to raise the standard for effort and consistency first, not just the outcome.
Got it. So we have the destination, high standards, and the starting block, the decision.
Mhm.
But when you aim for a massive shift, you're going to hit massive emotional roadblocks. That's the moment-to-moment problem. This is where state management comes in.
Yes. State management is the immediate practical tool for navigating those roadblocks. And the core argument is so powerful. Your emotional state determines every choice you make.
Every single one.
Every single one. If you're in a low-energy, frustrated state, you make bad, reactive decisions. If you're in a high-energy, resourceful state, you make powerful, proactive ones. Your state is your single most important resource.
So it's not about changing what's happening outside of you. You can't change the traffic jam.
Yeah,
It's about instantly changing your internal reality so you can deal with it better.
precisely. And the material emphasizes this is a skill. It's not a personality trait. The source gives you these practical tools to shift your state instantly. Specific breathing techniques, purposeful movement, visualizations, even what he calls language hacks.
And these are designed to get you from feeling overwhelmed to taking action in just a few moments.
Even if nothing outside has changed.
Okay, this is where it gets really, really interesting for me. Because it doesn't just say cheer up, it actually dives into the physics of emotion. It argues that any emotion is physically constructed, and it breaks it down into three components, the triad of emotion.
This is such a crucial framework for practical control. It just demystifies emotion. He teaches that any emotion you feel, whether it's excitement or dread or confidence, is created from three elements, and you have conscious control over all three.
Okay, let's break those down. What's the first leg of that triad?
The first is physiology. This is your body language, your posture, and so importantly, how you're breathing.
Right.
If you slump your shoulders, breathe shallowly, and look at the floor, you cannot feel confident. It's physiologically impossible in that posture. But if you stand tall, breathe deep into your diaphragm, move with purpose, your brain starts producing the chemistry to match.
It has to catch up to what your body is doing. And the second one?
The second is focus. This is literally what you consciously choose to pay attention to.
Yeah.
Are you focused on what you lack, on what went wrong today?
Or are you focused on what you have, your progress, your opportunities?
Exactly. Focus is like a camera lens. What you aim it at becomes your reality. You focus on problems, you feel problems. You focus on solutions, you feel resourceful.
And the third piece is the one you mentioned before, that powerful immediate lever, language.
Yes, language. Specifically, the words you use to describe your experiences inside your head and out loud. If you call a problem a catastrophe or a disaster, your brain hits the panic button.
Fear, paralysis.
But if you use a language hack and deliberately downgrade it, call it an interesting challenge or a minor inconvenience, the emotional intensity just drops. The challenge is still there, but your response is calibrated for problem solving, not panic.
So the synthesis of all three is the real key.
Yes, because changing just one piece, say fixing your posture, instantly changes how you feel. But the material really emphasizes if you consistently change all three, physiology, focus, and language, you fundamentally change your life. You go from defaulting to stress to defaulting to resourcefulness.
That moves us from the day-to-day control into deeper programming. So if the triad is our daily emotional control, what controls our long-term trajectory? What determines what we even try to do in the first place? This is where belief systems come in.
Exactly. Now we're talking about the operating system itself. Beliefs are these unexamined rules you have about life, about success and failure, pain and pleasure.
The stories we tell ourselves.
The stories we tell ourselves, the meanings we attach to events, and often the beliefs we just inherited from childhood. And these beliefs, whether they're true or false, act as this internal command center. They filter everything and dictate what we think we're capable of.
They become self-fulfilling prophecies, don't they? If you believe you're bad with money,
You'll subconsciously avoid financial literacy and probably sabotage any chance you get to make more. The material guides you to identify and rewrite those limiting beliefs. Things like, I'm not good enough, I don't deserve success, or that really paralyzing one, my life just won't change.
so you challenge the evidence and replace them.
Systematically, you replace those prohibitions with empowering, action-oriented beliefs.
But even if we rewrite the software, you still need fuel to run the new programs. What's the primal driver behind all of this? Every habit, every belief, every action.
That fuel is primal psychology. Pain and pleasure motivate everything. This is the fundamental lever for creating lasting change. The principle is that you and every human on the planet will do almost anything to avoid pain and gain pleasure.
They're the two masters of human behavior.
They are.
Okay, so how do you weaponize that for positive change? Because most of us associate bad habits like eating junk food with pleasure, and good habits like a run with pain. That's why willpower fails.
That's the key insight. Change becomes a struggle because the association is wrong. The source explains that you have to stop relying on willpower and start relying on conditioning. You have to actively retrain the brain.
Wow.
You deliberately associate intense, immediate emotional pain with the bad habits, and you link massive, immediate pleasure to the new positive ones.
And this is deeper than just saying, smoking is bad for me.
Oh, way deeper. It's an immersive process. You aren't just thinking about future lung cancer. You are vividly associating crippling, immediate pain, shame, loss, disgust with the very idea of that old habit right now.
Hmm.
At the same time, you link massive, immediate pleasure, pride, energy, success to the new habit.
So once that association is locked in, the change becomes automatic.
It's automatic. Your brain naturally starts guiding you toward the positive behavior to avoid the pain and seek the pleasure. You completely remove the need for that daily brute force willpower.
That is the ultimate behavioral hack. It turns inertia into momentum just by leveraging our deepest psychological drivers.
Exactly.
So what does this all mean then? We have the committed decision, we have the high standards, we have the emotional control from the triad, and we have the motivation fueled by pain and pleasure. We have all the mechanisms. What's the final non-negotiable step?
Taking massive action. The entire framework is just preparation for this. The book says it over and over.
Yeah.
Immediate, bold, unstoppable action. Waiting until you feel ready is the #1 guarantee of failure.
If you have the state, the beliefs, the standards, the only thing missing is movement.
The only thing.
And this is all summarized in that central quote from the book, which really reframes this entire deep dive.
It does. The crucial takeaway quote is, knowledge is not power. Action is power. All these techniques are just information until they're applied. Only through physical forward movement does any of this become permanent.
So the final verdict is that this material, especially in that energetic audiobook format, is one of the most actionable guides ever created. It moves past just inspiration and gives you practical tools.
Tools to immediately control your emotions, rewrite your beliefs, change your habits, and ultimately create the life you actually want.
And for you, the listener, that means you're getting a clear structure. You're getting these practical behavioral science nuggets without having to wade through hours of material to find them.
They're all front-loaded into these frameworks.
And remember the context. The value is amplified by the listening experience itself. It really does feel less like a self-help book and more like a personal coaching session, pushing you to apply these tools right now.
We started this whole dive by saying that every human has this enormous inner strength, but most of us live on autopilot, reacting, not creating. So if life really does follow the standards you accept, and if decision is destiny, here's the final thought to sit with.
What single higher expectation in your health, your finances, or your career are you ready to truly commit to right now, this instant? Before you feel ready, what decision will you make to begin fundamentally shifting your destiny?
Take that decision, raise that standard, change your state, and go take massive action.